Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
You do have the opportunity to go falconing with Robert Kennedy Jr. if you'd like.
Oh, yes.
I thought, people thought I was effing with him that he invited me falconing, and now he's raffling off a falconing trip with him to raise money for his stupid campaign.
Yeah.
And in my defense, he only invited me because he wanted to F me. The same thing he wants to do to the country. And yes. I, for one, am glad that Martin Sheen and, Dionne Warwick, Andre Bocelli all said, what the F?
Yeah.
Because they put out a statement that they were going to a fundraiser. They're like, absolutely not. And Martin Sheen said, I fully support Biden. That's what's terrifying, Rude, is that we're sleepwalking into fascism, another COVID wave, and it is terrifying. I mean, you, by the way, were on fire on Threads. I followed you the whole vacation. You said Biden goes point by point about how dangerous Donald Trump is, and then talks about how precious democracy is in a well-written, well-delivered, impassioned speech. Trump gets on stage, mocks Biden's stutter, screams about air currents, lies about winning in 2020, tries to jack off, fails, screams some more before quietly smirking at the audience while he S's himself and leaves. Media tomorrow. Two speeches, two visions of America's future. How will voters decide? And that's exactly why we're where we are, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what possible reason would Biden be polling badly on the economy when it is provably the best economy in 50 years by any barometer, right?
And provably that of all Western nations, we came through the pandemic the strongest because Biden became president. Mm-hmm. If Trump had still been president, it would be in the toilet. And, I just remember Trump promised that if Biden got elected, there would be a Great Depression. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a Great Depression. In fact, there was the opposite. So now he's saying again, if Biden's elected, it'll be worse. It'll be a Great Depression. And, this is what Trump does. Trump keeps creating this narrative of a different reality, of a reality where, he talked about New York City and how murder is rampant in New York City. I'm like, MFer, it went down mm-hmm. one of the biggest percentages in history. Yep. I mean, what are you talking about?
This war on, facts, I guess, is what is going to be our main battle to save democracy. Jamel Bouie wrote a great piece in the New York Times. Commentators have spent too much time fretting over Trump's voters and not enough time on the tens of millions of voters who have said again and again and again they do not want this man or his movement in American politics. And you wrote a great piece about, I thought I was losing my mind. You just said, when you say Trump should be allowed to run for office, you sound like an effing idiot. You said the effing 14th Amendment is absolutely effing clear that he shouldn't be allowed near an election. And yet we keep having these pearl-clutching debates about what it means, how it's the end of democracy and other assorted it's the way the country avoids our stupid electoral system and our stupid voters putting a madman into office again. I'm with a lot of the even conservative legal scholars that say this is pretty much a slam dunk. And you realize, Rude, a lot of Americans, even Republicans, feel like we do. The fact that we're in this extraordinary place with state after state trying to keep them off the ballot means a lot of people recognize the danger and just go, oh my God, okay, if Mueller couldn't do it and Garland can't do it, and Congress won't do it, we've got to stop this, right?
Yeah. And there was a fascinating editorial, and I don't remember if it was in the Washington Post or the New York Times, of somebody pointing out when they're saying, well, the Supreme Court is going to say that Congress needs to declare it. And they were like, no, because you see, that section of the 14th Amendment actually says the only thing Congress is allowed to do in this case is by a 2/3 vote restore the right of somebody to run for office, which they did do sometimes. So if Congress wants to restore Trump's right to run, they can do it. But there is nothing in there that says there has to be a conviction, and that Congress has to sanction Trump. It is absolutely clear. You commit insurrection, you don't get to be in public office.
Well, and the good news is, by all accounts, this, super spidey sense presidential immunity thing is going to fail. The only, bad thing about, me having COVID and also a yeasty vagina, quite honestly, Rude. I feel like you're man enough to take it. I have a
Yeah.
I have a situation. I have a vaginal situation after bike riding in 90-degree humidity for a week in Costa Rica. But that's not my point.
I'm sorry.
My point is, he's going to have
made me think about your vagina, and now you know.
Yeah.
That's
Now
where
he
my-
can't think.
look what
Now
you've
he can't
made him
think.
do.
Yeah, come on, Stephanie.
He's going to have an even worse week than we are.
Yeah.
So today, the Georgia racketeering case lawyers must file their motions. Giuliani has sought to extend the deadline, but was denied. On tomorrow, oral arguments begin in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, where Trump will argue he has universal presidential spidey sense immunity. That is expected to fail. Mary McCord, like our friend Tristan Snell, who's coming up in a bit, speculated the Supreme Court may try to figure out a way to dodge ruling on it entirely if the D.C. court writes the ruling the right way. I mean, I can't imagine even this court, Rude, saying a president can do anything he effing wants ever. Right?
As long as they claim that it was something necessary for the job, yes, that they could do whatever they want. I'm sorry. I had to have my political opponent killed because it's for the best of the country, and it is my constitutional duty to protect the country.
Yeah. I mean, it's absurd on its face, So I'm oddly still hopeful, despite my aching vagina and my COVID. I am hopeful it's 2024 because I can't. Oh, this is where I know the apocalypse is near. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Guess who agreed with me, Chris?
Who?
Ann Coulter.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
What?
Paul tweets, so Ann Coulter says Trump against Biden is not only a loss for Trump and the GOP, but a 1964 style loss. Hi, Daddy. She also thinks he won't end up being the nominee. She and Stephanie Miller are on the same page. I mean, I think we are in an anything can happen year, Rude, right?
Oh, I think so. And I think, and you know what, frankly, I love that Nikki Haley, instead of positioning herself as somebody different than Trump, is positioning herself as Trump without indictments.
Right.
And is going so crazy and far right that.
But Rude, she had black friends growing up. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe she killed them all. I mean, I don't know. She didn't say what happened. She said growing up. So I don't know what,
Growing up.
I feel like it's like, what's the movie? What's the scary movie? Get Out.
Get Out. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I think there's some Get Out plotline in Nikki Haley.
I actually love the way.
It's weird to say I had black friends growing up, but I don't have black friends now. Right?
Well, although another thing about the way she put it was, if you grew up in the South, you just couldn't avoid black people. I mean, it's like, I guess
they're like
I
grits.
had to be nice to them.
They're like grits, but my God.
Yeah. That's the way she was saying.
Yeah.
I grew up in the South. I mean, how do you avoid black people?
Right.
I guess I wasn't mean to all of them.
Chris, do we have one of our new sponsors? We really should send this to Nikki Haley so she can, because, someone, by the way, I hate everyone, Rude. And most people were like, oh, I'm glad you had a nice vacation. You haven't had one in years. And then one person was like, where's the black people? There's no black people on the bike trip. And I actually belong to an African-American cycling club here in LA, which is why it's doubly funny. But anyway, we're gonna lend this to Nikki Haley. Here we go.
Honey, I'm home. Oh, hey, our pictures are developed.
That's great. Let me see. Wait, who are those people?
Excuse me, what do you mean, those people? They're our new African-American friends.
What do you mean?
Remember, dear? We used the Insta-Blacket camera.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
These morons yesterday, they faked up these photos right away.
The Insta-Blacket camera from Koblack gives you the ability to show everyone you have ethnic supporters. Your friends will be amazed at how diversified your snapshots have become. Add Mexicans, Muslims, gay people, or African Americans to any photo.
Dynamite.
Just point, shoot, and rid yourself of people accusing you of bigotry with the Koblack Insta-Blacket. And besides diverse, the pictures are sharp. with resolution as high as 16 megahuxtables.
Do you remember the times that we lied?
The Koblack Insta Blacket camera. A picture is worth 1,000 votes.
It's because we're liberal helpers.
Hey all, Glenn Kirschner here. I hope you'll join me on my new audio podcast, Justice Matters. I'll be using my 30 years as a federal prosecutor and Army JAG to unpack, break down, and explain the legal issues of the day, particularly where the legal intersects with the political. Please look for Justice Matters with Glenn Kirschner wherever you generally get your podcasts.